sister is being abused by my ex-fiance, but I don't care and won't be helping her. 5 years ago my older sister, Jane, slept with my ex-fiance, John. It was one of those I've loved him for years situations for Jane, or so she claimed back then, so she took her shot to get with him even as the mistress he hides away. And John, well, he was pissed back then because I didn't fight for our relationship. Suffice to say that when I found out they were screwing around, I mentally thought, wow, these people are pathetic. I had no intentions of fighting, arguing, begging. I never even cried now that I think about it. Even back then, I was a one-and-done kind of person. I cut my mother off for cheating on my dad. I cut off friends who cheated on their partners even when we were stupid kids. Cheating isn't a mistake. It pisses me off thinking about it. Jane crying and telling me you have to understand like I hadn't caught her screwing my fiancé in my bed in my condo. Or John yelling at me, saying if you ever loved me, you'd fight for me, or cry for me, or do something, and then the most hilarious line of maybe if you put out more, I wouldn't have strayed. And seriously, I was always the one initiating even before our engagement. And I had stopped bothering because he claimed his sex drive was lower than mine. I know for a fact that I'm a good lay. He just never wanted to put any effort in. And even if I hadn't been trying to have sex regularly, that is not an excuse to cheat. I tossed them out, packed up my crap, canceled everything but the honeymoon, and got refunds. I sent John's family their 25% contribution and security footage of John screwing my sister in the living room. It went back to the day he moved in and the idiot probably forgot I had security cameras inside. And that was beyond petty. But despite how much his family loved me, I also knew that his doting father and grandmother would never believe John was capable of cheating on me without some kind of proof. I didn't need them harassing my family like they did others for lying about their family. I had also evicted John and then had an agent sell my condo while I turned my would-be honeymoon into a solo thank FKM free trip. And when I came back, I moved. Again, one and done. Kind of girl. Cheaters, liars, betrayers, and perverse jerks do not deserve forgiveness nor second chances. I learned that with my parents' situation. You give a second chance, they'll do it over and over again. Then scream you said you forgave me and I can't help it. It meant nothing while victimizing themselves. It took my dad years to stop forgiving my mother, but I will never make that mistake. In 5 years, Jane and John got married because she was pregnant, moved into her apartment together, and now have 3 children, 4M, 3M, and newborn F. They have no friends, no familial support beyond my mother. My dad is apparently involved with his grands, but does not help financially nor does he babysit or even let John into his house. I was visiting my dad when Jane showed up at his house in the middle of the night. She had her children with her, had a black eye, marks on her neck, and bruises on her arm. And initially, I was worried as my dad brought them all in. That worry disappeared the moment she said John got angry at her because I'm not up. She was blubbering about all the things John expected of her and how he essentially wanted her to be me, Little Miss Perfect, even though I'm the one that didn't want him. Dad tried to stop her multiple times, but I told her to keep going. Her tirade was how it should have been me he hated and hit, not her. That John lost his family because of me. They only have our mother as help because of me. That I didn't love him enough to fight or be with him no matter the circumstance like she did. That everything falling apart was on me, not her, and that she was sick of how I ran away and yet still managed to ruin her relationship with John. Even her wedding was all about how Op would have wanted this, and intimacy always ends with, sex with Op was better. You need to try harder. And apparently, in Jane's eyes, John beating her for the first time was entirely on me. Wanna know why? Because her children look like our mother instead of me, who looks like my father. That even her children are treated like afterthoughts by John because he had hoped they'd get good genes. They only had another child because he wanted one to look like me, and that one doesn't either. And then, she said that maybe if I talked to John, things would get better for her. After all that, Dad pretty much told her that her kids will be staying with him, but she was on her own. Go to the police or your mother. Then she turns to me, begging me to convince him otherwise. Like, is she serious? You're in a situation of your own making. You're older than me, decided to screw a taken man, and then married him even after you claimed all he wanted was the woman that abandoned him. You're the one that was cut off from any viable support system by being an awful person. No one deserves to be abused and I don't view it as karma, but Jane stopped being my sister the first time she slept with John. Someone that loves you would never show such blatant hate for you. That goes for both of them.